name's Anthony, I'm from Windsor, New South Wales. This is my 88 VL Calais, hold tight. My passion for cars, I guess, started pretty much when I was born. My dad always had V8 one-tonners and my uncles had cars, so from a very young age, that's all I wanted to do was just play with cars. First car was a grey VL Calais. It was just a 6-cylinder, 5-speed. I had it on my L's. Nothing special. It was just, bog stock, VL. But then as I got my P's, I had a Lancer, Mitsubishi Lancer. It had the Droid kit on it, and big stereo. Had all little painted accessories, and I thought it was the best thing to, race the streets of Sydney. I had a Triple S Pulsar that I built as a show car. It had a 2-litre turbo engine in it, and the chrome wheels, fancy paint job. I had a few Jap cars, Skylines and so forth, 180SX, S15. I had them for a fair few years, but always wanted a blown Commodore with the big engine sitting out the bonnet. Just loved the look, the sound of a tough V8. And that's when I bought this thing here.
You like that one?
Yeah, the car was just an LS1, turbo 400, 9-inch diff. It was just a very clean, well looked after car. But in the first 2 weeks, I broke the box in it. After I got the box built, then I thought I'd have a go at putting a little bit more power into it. I put an underbonnet supercharger. That lasted about 3 months, and I broke that. That's when the first engine got built. One thing led to another, and the supercharger went on, and I was happy with it. But then broke that engine. That lasted 3 or 4 months, and I had I got the shit with it basically, and just left it in the naughty corner until I decided I wanted to build something really special, a real big, 1,000 horsepower engine. And that's when I got introduced to Troy from Warspeed, and sat down with him and said, build me something that I'm not going to break. After the engine got built, we fitted in the car, but we had a few issues. So the motor came back out, and it was looking a bit worse for wear. There was a lot of scratches and dings, and the boys came over and we stripped the car right down, pulled all the trim out of it, the K-frame, everything basically, the wiring, the whole car, it just looked like a wreck. We took it over to Brad. He started fabbing everything up, putting the firewall in, new radiator, smoothing it all off, boxing all the rails and whatnot. From there, it just went over to Tusas, and they done their bit on it. The car came back, the motor was just on an engine stand, and then we decided, look, we're going to start throwing all this billet onto it and all these polish rock covers, manifold. And so once it was all built, we sat it in the car, and then we started trying to make everything work. It was just meant to be just a cruiser, nothing special, just something to jump in. But as like with most cars, never lasts like that too long. One thing led to another, and this is the car now. It's a cast iron block, 403 stroker. It's got LS3 heads on it, Shaun's custom alloy manifold, and an 871 supercharger. The car makes 1,000 plus horsepower on 12 PSI. The reason I chose to go down that path was, I'd broken 3 engines before it, and I wanted something that could take every bit of driving that I throw at it, whether it's at the track, on the street. And so far, I haven't had one single issue with it. Every fuel line on the car is stainless steel. Every fitting's been polished, all the way back to the cell. It's got a turbo 400 gearbox in it, built by Shiftright. Supposed to handle, 1,500 horsepower. 9-inch diff in it, with 3.5 ratios, locked. Full custom interior in it, shield front seats, 4 billet accessories, billet steering wheel and whatnot. The console goes all the way through, which is a bit of a popular thing these days. There's a lot of little things in the car a lot of people wouldn't realise until you look at it in detail, but it's practical at the same time. The car still can be worked on relatively easy. So originally the car, we were going to go for wild cherry, but then after looking at the colour out in the sun, it just looked a bit, so they said, the boys kept saying, go brandy wine, go brandy wine. Once I looked into it and seen it on a few cars that were sprayed in the past, I thought, that's the colour we're going to go. It's got that flip, it goes from real deep bass, and when the sun hits it, it really pops. It's the best colour, and I'm glad I made the decision because it looks, it looks wild. The reason I went with the Simmons wheels It was readily available and I always loved them. Like, there's a lot of cars out there with them, but I think, they always look good. And being polished with that brandy colour, it really pops, with the engine and whatnot. I just think it's a really good mix between the two. So, I love the way it looks with the colour, the stance of the car, and the supercharger sitting out the bonnet. It's a perfect mix. What I love most of the car is taking it to events and really letting loose on it, absolutely caning it all weekend at power cruise or whatnot. I don't think a lot of people see a car that's of a level like this, but then absolutely gets caned all weekend and gets thrown back in the shed, like nothing happened. It's the best part. I love it. Well, there's another one that's getting built. It's another VL Brocky replica. My mate bought it. It's the old I Hate Fords. He just wanted the running gear out of it, so we struck a deal and I got the shell off him, and getting Troy to build another, cast 403 stroker, but it'll be on methanol. I'm going to try to go over 1100 horsepower, and this is like the side chick, and that's the main. I just wanted just a blown Commodore. That's all I wanted, just something neat. Leading up to summer, that's like a week out. Once all the little bits went together, it blew my mind. How people were reacting to it when they were seeing it, on Facebook or Instagram. Even at Summernats, they were like, the thing looks wild. It handles well. It makes, the power. It gives me a bit of a fright when you into a corner, 100 Ks and the thing's all over the shop. It's comfortable, it doesn't overheat. It's perfect, it does absolutely everything the way it should. And yeah, I can't believe that, I've built this thing.